Are you getting nervous, Rachel?
Well, maybe a little. Since you're recording, yeah.
Oh, it's
No.
all going to be great. It's all going to be awesome. No issues here. Um,
Hey, Christina.
all right, Alma, I was having trouble going on live streaming it, but it worked now.
It is.
Got it. Okay. All right, we are live with Neil Schwartz, masterminding with Neil Schwartz, and our special guest today, Rachel Mappis. Good morning, Rachel. I guess it's afternoon, right?
It is afternoon here. Yes. Good afternoon.
Thank you, and good afternoon to you too. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I'm very excited about this opportunity. Rachel and I met last week or week before, and she works for a carpenter in Indianapolis. Is it like all that whole region?
Yes, my office is on County Line Road, Carpenter, and yes, this whole area. So it's a good office.
No, I understand. It's a great office. It's a great company.
Yeah.
And you have some really great leadership there with your manager and from Tom Myers, who I've known for, my gosh, Tom, 15 years. Yeah. So long time. And he sent me an email with an interview of you. And I thought immediately you're somebody that I need to be able to share to our group. Okay. So,
Okay.
all right. And I want to do that. So basically your background is you come from a real estate family who had done business locally, more of a kind of a mama papa shop over years in your community, right?
Yes, my dad's real estate license is on my desk. It says 1949.
Wow.
And he was a real estate broker, and he owned his own company, Periel Killen Realty. That's how he and my mother came together. My mom was one of the first women in Indiana to get a real estate license. She was very proud of that. And she was sought after by some big companies here in Indianapolis back long ago. And she told throughout her lifetime that she chose to go work for my dad. And it was the best decision that she made. They had a big family, and they were a good partnership. So,
God, that's great. Fantastic. So, but when you started, you didn't go into real estate right away, correct?
no, I was a school teacher for 30 years, and I'm currently finishing up my career as a teacher, and I knew I wanted a secondary or a career to jump into. With so many family members in the realty business, and I have a half sister that owns a small company in Florida. I have brothers in realty. I thought, it's time for me to do that. And so with my mother being elderly and my father being passed, I wanted to be the one to sell and help my mother sell their properties. So the last property my mom had was a farm in Lebanon. And with some encouragement of a really good friend of mine who thought I had some potential in this type of business, I got my license last October, signed on with another company here in Indianapolis. I was teaching full time and didn't do a lot except list my mother's property. Tom Myers gave me a call in early January and said, I see you're a new agent. Would you be interested in coming to the office and meeting me and having some discussion about Carpenter? And at that time, I thought, well, this is probably just kind of a little scam call or something. But I had heard about Carpenter, but I was very impressed with Tom. And after a couple of connections, I did come into the office and meet with him. I was impressed that he outlined a business plan for me. It seemed very organized here. It seemed like a good opportunity and a wonderful fit for me, my personality. Tom was extremely helpful. He was very welcoming. Coming to Carpenter was the best decision I've made in my life in a long time. I love the people here. Chase Simpson couldn't be a better office manager. He gives positive, direct guidance and feedback. Karen McGale, our administrative assistant here, she's very good. She's on it. I kind of had a joke to myself. She doesn't know this little joke, but I've taught school and been around people for so long. I've taught private piano lesson. I've just been out in the public a lot. And I remember thinking about Karen, I'm just going to keep giving her stuff and calling stuff and see if I can trip this gal up. When does she get a crack on me? And she never did. She just kept coming back very efficiently. And Chase the same way. I couldn't have asked for a better group of people to be involved with here at this office. So
That's great, Rachel. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. It is all about the people you hang around, isn't it?
absolutely. And I wrote a few notes to share today about what I think it would look like. Of course, I'm a new agent to be successful in any career or this career of real estate.
And I want to go over those notes with you in just a bit. But let's go through a little Q&A first, okay?
Okay.
Do you mind?
Let's go.
All right, good stuff. So basically, you got started in real estate full-time or kind of full-time back in what, November?
Well, whoops, did I lose you?
No, I'm right here.
Okay, can you see me and everything?
I can see and hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't see you. I don't know what I did, but I ended up starting full-time June 5th. June 5th was my full-time start date. The last day of school for me was June 4th. And I called Chase and I said, well, Chase, when would you like me to come in? Or he might have called me and said, hey, when are we getting this going? I said, I'm finished June 4th. I will be there June 5th and get my office little cubicle going and start doing this. And from the moment I walked in June 5th of this year, 2022, it has been a phenomenal experience for me. I've learned a lot. I still have a lot to learn. But one thing I made sure I would do is be very observant of the people around me. Everyone in my office, anyone I saw that I felt was successful, that I wanted in my pool, in my connection, my circle, let's say, I would pull them in and try to keep them involved with me. People such as lenders, title companies, people that made an impression for me from the day I walked into this office. I had made up my mind I was going to keep those people into my close connection to help me in my walk to try to be very successful. So
and you did that. And
yes.
Okay. So you started prospecting, door knocking, you called all your friends and relatives in the business. So June 5th on. So tell me who you reached out to in some kind of order.
Okay, I started with my sphere, the people that I personally know, my family, my friends. I had 65 or 6. I immediately started calling. I recognized that the most important thing that a new agent or any agent should do is prospecting, trying to bring in the clients has to be first and foremost. So I called everyone I knew. I think I had about 64 or 5 people on my list. then I had heard rumor about people getting for sale by owners and expireds. And so I went to Tom and I said, Tom, how do we do this? They had a desk of computers here, and how do I do this? And he and I sat down one morning very early on, and he said, here's how you can do this, Rachel. You can call these for sale by owners, these expireds. And I said, okay, thank you. And I went about my way, and I started very heavily prospecting. I would say that I probably prospected about 3 hours a day. So I made that my goal. My entire day was circled around prospecting.
Sure. So you were calling expireds. Did you have a script that you were using? Tom gave you some kind of a script, or?
Yes, Tom gave me the for sale by owner script and the expireds, and I did follow that, pretty closely, and I still do.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you started calling those people, and you just kept calling them using the scripts and dialogues to the best of your ability. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Did you have any idea on pricing, or did you have to go preview properties or things? Like, you're basically brand new. You've been in the town your whole life,
Yeah.
but not in the real estate business, right?
No. I did have some rental properties myself, but I had sold those. So I had some experience in just,
Right.
homes. But I was just on it as quickly as I could, asking Chase, how do we do market analysis? How do we do? I was pretty quick, I think, at trying to figure out. I just felt like I knew what to do next, even though I didn't know how to do it. Chase spent a lot of time with me. Chase Simpson, he was phenomenal in just helping me. I was probably bouncing all over the place, but I was very aggressively pursuing this career for myself. You have to do.
I'm sorry. Because you had to. You didn't have an option at that point, correct?
An option to what? Another career?
To not work. I mean,
no, I need. Yes, I do.
You didn't have a ton of money coming in, right?
No, just teacher's salary, and it's a teaching is wonderful. I have made wonderful connections with families and children through the years, but it's not a lot of income. So I knew through seeing my parents and seeing other people that it would be an opportunity for good income, and I am finding that out to be true. So I'm very happy.
Fantastic. So you started calling these expireds, and how many listing appointments have you generated so far since June?
Yes, June 5th. I think the first month I had 14 listing appointments. So I just wanted to get as many listing appointments as I could. I was putting all this together as in the process of doing it. With exceptional guidance from Chase Simpson. He was there for me when I needed help or assistance, and I jumped in with 2 feet on the ground running, because this is what I want to do. And I just felt I'm a very enthusiastic person. I like being around people. I did have 14 listing appointments the first month. And I think I signed on about 9 listings. I think it was 9 listings the first month.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Okay, good. And what'd you do the second month? I mean, kind of busy the first month. What'd you do the second month?
Well, I had to here's what I've done in about 2.5 months. And I have 12 listings. I have 7 that have closed already. I have 5 pendings that are moving toward a closing date in the next 3 weeks. I have 7 sales that I've picked up from the listings where I've sold people's houses, and then they've asked me to find them a house. And I have 18 transactions on the table total in that time frame. So
in 2.5 months.
Yes. And my goal
now
is
you're going to go into the seminar business.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. That's magnificent. And that's really what struck me, because when we were talking and I was asking you a lot of questions, a lot of it I found was mindset. A lot of it was you weren't going to take no for an answer when yes, it's still possible. All the stuff we teach and we go and, I mean, you had some real estate background. Certainly you were exposed to it, but not at these levels. We have agents that never hit these numbers, and no matter how long they've been in the business. So first of all, congratulations. Okay. And congratulations to your support team, et cetera, et cetera. But I would suspect, Rachel, that there are other people in your company that have the same opportunities that you've had that haven't accomplished what you've accomplished. Is that a fair assumption?
I think that would be a fair assumption across the board at other companies or other real estate
You're
agents.
right.
I've seen
You're
it.
right.
I've
That would
seen
be
it.
all,
Yes.
all companies.
Yes.
So let me ask you something. Have you ever thought about, or have you talked with Chase and Thomas what makes you go? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get in your head right now to figure out what makes you go so that we can transfer some of that to, we've got 90 people on this call right now and probably another 50 or 60 watching on Facebook.
Okay.
What makes Rachel go?
Well, I appreciate that question, first of all. I've had some adversities in my life, and I think that that's common, that you see of successful people that have traveled through hard walks in their life, and they come out to a road that they are not going to continue to push forward and walk along. I am a cancer survivor. I had Hodgkin's lymphoma with my fifth child when I was pregnant. That was a very difficult time in my life. I am a single mom of 5 children. One is special needs. That encompasses its whole realm of challenges. My personality is very competitive. Sometimes I just think everybody needs to get out of my way so I can go do what I want to do. Just move out of my way and let me go, because there is nothing that's going to stop me from waking up every day in my life and trying to better my life, my family's life, and be a light to people around me. Life is short. Life is very fragile. We learn through our lifetime through hardships, but there is not a day that I don't wake up and think, what am I going to do next to continue to meet my goals and to be a strong real estate agent and make my parents proud. They are both deceased now. I just lost my mother. My dad's been gone a while. I want to be honorable to them and to what my parents were to me. And so I want to be successful in real estate. And I feel like inside that there isn't anything that if I want to do it, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So
I think that's absolutely wonderful. Let me ask you, Rachel, on the days you don't feel like doing what you're supposed to be doing, and all of us run into those days occasionally, what gets you up and what keeps you going? Because I suspect that you are what I would call a force of nature.
well, I am excited to be with people, to make connections. I love to learn about people's life stories and about just being successful. The real estate to me is exciting. I like to feel like I might be a part of helping someone's life. If I'm tired, I get up and do it anyways. I look at people that I feel are successful around me. I'm very intuitive to watching people and looking around me and just taking note. People that are successful, they exercise, they get up, they have confidence, they have connections, they have conversations, and they also don't run away from challenges. If a challenge happens, they meet it professionally and calmly and to the best of your ability. And when something doesn't happen the right way, you get up and you go away and you learn from that and go to the next one, move to the next challenge.
So, oh, that's just great message for everyone. You know, we say all the time that you're either an example or a warning in life, and you are quite the example. We really appreciate it. Is there any particular books that you're reading or anything that you're connected to that has been
Well,
a powerful thing for you?
Well, I did go to the Mike Ferry in Las Vegas a few months ago. I'm
Superstar
delving,
Retreat.
yes, the retreat, and I am delving into just learning more about him and his philosophies. The retreat was really motivational to me. It made a lot of sense on what he was saying, and so I've been trying to learn more about him and his philosophies and real estate guidance. So
Good. Excellent. Excellent. That's a good leader. Hey, there's a question in the chat box. Was most of the work that you did or so far cold calling or door knocking, or how did that break down for you?
well, I've done I've sent my kids out on their bikes to hang flyers in our neighborhoods around us. And they had fun doing that. The boys had a few funny stories in the evening about sneaking up and hanging my things on the doors. I advertise heavily in my church. I make lots of connections there. When I go through my day, everything I'm doing, I'm thinking about a possible client. Whether I'm at my kids' school or at the grocery store, and I know no strangers. You know, I'm a big baby magnet at the grocery store, and so I've met people. I talk to them. Real estate and making a possible client is always on my mind. It's just that internal drive that I have. I'm always thinking about it. I'm always thinking about what is the next thing I should be doing to help my career or help me get another client. But my listings have been from cold calls. I have got on and just called for sell by owners. But well, I had two though that were people I knew from my church, and my 12-year-old son actually got those for me, and that was quite a story.
So you have 5 children. How old? What are their ages?
My oldest is 23, and he's going to be a pilot, a commercial pilot. He just finished school and is working on his flight hours. My daughter's next one is 20. She's at UIndy, and she's going to be an occupational therapist. My son is 18, and he has autism, so he goes to a special school, and he will be my forever companion at my home, living with me. But he's a blessing in my life. I have a 15-year-old daughter thinks she's a superstar singer. She's in high school. And I have a 12-year-old son that is happy-go-lucky, wonderful little young man. And I have a good family. So
it sounds like it. It sounds like you're a great mom.
Thank you. I appreciate
Great. You know, you are one of those. You are Wonder Woman.
I've been told that by a few people, but I like to be busy. The busier I am, the more productive I am. If I have to be moving and going and doing and trying to excel, and my kids, they always joke, they say, man, if mom wants to do it, get out of her way. It's going to happen. So I think having the cancer was a very life-changing experience for me. I know that the days are valuable. When anything I do in my life, including this real estate, I do with urgency. That's what I call it. You do it with urgency.
That's a great word, urgency. So, what would you say? I mean, fairly new in the real estate business, but pretty darn good numbers. What would you say your superpower is in this business so far?
Well, I would say there's probably 2 or 3 things that have got me where I am quickly. One is I can identify with successful people and their traits and their characteristics, and I pull them into my circle, whether it's been title companies, lenders, this office that I'm with, Tom Myers, Chase Simpson. Um, I'm very happy. I'm easygoing person, I feel like, but I'm very very driven. And I pull in the connections of the people I see that will help me meet my goals and that I work well with. So I see the traits of successful people and I try to emulate that for myself. It's good to have exercise. It's good to get up early. It's good to write lists. Make a list every day of what you need to do. And then talk to people, many connections. I have made so many phone calls and I sit down and I'm old. I'm getting old. Sometimes I sit down and I'm not going to stop calling till I get 2 listing appointments. And sometimes I've called for 3-4 hours. Just keep going. Just keep going. If people are negative, keep going. Keep going.
So I think that's a great message. Can I stop you for just a minute on this
Sure. Yeah.
conversation here?
Yeah.
So are you keeping track of your numbers, contacts or hours every day? Do you keep track of that?
I don't keep track of it real tight wise, but if I sit down every other day to make calls, and I'm continuously sending cards to people. There was one gal at my kid's school, and I thought, man, we had a conversation, so I've mailed her cards. I do personal cards and connections. The calling is so important, and the personal connections. People don't just come to you. You go to them. You tell them what you can present for them, how you can be helpful to them. Find out what their needs are. Find out about your people. Do pre-qualifications so you know what they need, and then tell them how you're going to help meet their needs. And when you connect to them on what their needs are and their motivations, and you can say, here's how I can help you get that resolved. And then if you give out a good presentation and you're solid and you generally care about the people, which I do, I generally care about the people in my life, it works.
Obviously it does. So Tom and I were talking at one point, and he said that that you don't go into a prospecting session necessarily with contacts in mind. You go with getting an appointment out of that period. So is that your strategy there?
Oh, yes, it is. Yep.
And so what I think I'm hearing you say is that you're going to stay on the phones or the doors or writing letters until you set 2 appointments. Did I hear that right? Yes. I sit down and I say, I'm not stopping till I set 2 listing appointments and have 3 strong leads. And I've done that from the beginning of this 2.5 months. But I sit down and I say, I will not stop. And in a week, up till this week, I do not want to end the week without having a new listing and a sold. I like to have 2 things a week, if and that's my goal for myself. But I have sat down before, and I do this every time I sit down. I'm not stopping calling till I have 2 listing appointments in my pocket, and strong listing appointments. And a lot of times I've gone to those listing appointments. I put a sign in my trunk and a key box on my car seat. And to me, mentally, that helps. And I've been successful. If I do the pre-qualification, I know what the people are looking for. And one night I was so tired, and because Chase made me go to my training,
which I'm glad I went to. I know I need to go to training, but I was in training all week, all day. And he didn't just have me do Zoom. He wanted me to be personally present, which I do understand that also. So I was driving clear up to the other side of Indy, and I was in my mind, I said, I am not going to go through this week of training and not have a listing this week. And so on, I think it was Wednesday evening, I was calling in the evenings. I said, I'm not calling till I know I have a listing in my pocket. And I called 51 people, 51 calls. And I was almost done. And I said, man, I'm going to call one more. And I called one more call, and I got 2 listing appointments out of that guy. And the next day I got a listing. And so just don't give up. Have faith in yourself. Be strong, and just know the next one's coming. The next one's coming. And if you see it for yourself and you believe it in yourself, it's going to happen.
It sure sounds like it. I love this. This is great. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. You open for some questions right now, Rachel?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Good job.
Yeah.
Questions for Rachel Mappes. Questions for Rachel. I mean, I don't even know where to start. Questions. Anyone have a question right now?
I do.
Go ahead.
Rachel, I think you have an advantage over a lot of us. You're incredible. Your attitude's great, and you're very likable. So good job. But let's talk about the motivation, because we all have the same problems, getting out of bed in the morning and getting going. Sometimes I just have to hit myself in the head, put the smile on my face. It's like, I'm going to cold call today and do this. How do you do it? How do you get going?
Well, let me relate it to my personal life again. After I had cancer, stage 2 cancer, and was pregnant with my 5th child and did chemotherapy the entire pregnancy, I went through a very dark time of my life. I went through a depression. And what I did to pull myself through that and to kind of build my character to where I am today is, even if I felt like not doing it, my mind knows what I need to do. Everyone here is very intelligent. You know what you need to put your body through to make your attitude catch up with it. So I would write down, and this is very simple, but it can be taken at any level. I would write down, today I am going to get up and take care of my children. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to eat. I'm going to feed my family. I'm going to go to work. And I had to write those things down when I was at my lowest point in my life. And I would put my body through what I knew was a normal, healthy reaction. And when you start doing that, so you write down things that you want to do, and you pursue what you want to pursue, how you see yourself and where you want to be. Even if you don't feel like doing it, do it. Write it down, see it, see yourself going through those actions, see yourself being where you need to be. Then the next day, it'll be easier. And it'll get easier, and you're going to wake up and find yourself that you're starting to achieve your goals. And if you're connecting to people and trying to be understanding to people and being personable, I just like to talk to people. I think that does help. But you're going to get there one step at a time. You're going to take little steps, and you're going to climb that mountain. And I believe in myself. You believe in yourself. Mm-hmm.
That's great. Great question, Barry.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wonderful answer, Rachel. Thank you. Questions for Rachel? Josie, did you have a question?
She stepped away, Neil. I think
Oh,
somebody
sorry.
called her.
Okay.
Got it. Okay, good stuff. All right. Other questions for Rachel? Please jump in or raise your hand or. Okay. Rachel, let me ask you a question. Well, I think everybody's in awe. I don't think I've ever run into a situation where somebody doesn't have a question.
We're intimidated, Neil.
Or intimidated. Rachel, I know you've been in quote unquote a short period of time, but you've done a lot of damage in a short period of time. Congratulations. I mean that in a positive way.
Yes.
Is there a particular objection handler or a particular saying or something that comes up that when you get this objection or you get in this situation that you go, I got this. This is mine. Is there anything like that come up for you?
Yes. When people that I talk with and they bring up the fact, oh, I could sell it by myself, for sell by owner, save that commission. Or
Sure.
they say, I can go with this other company, or this other person is saying these commissions are so much less. My for sale by owner response, and I think it's very strong, it seems to be working, is I tell them, when you walk away from a closing table, statistically, people who list with an agent, a very aggressive agent, a good agent that's organized, represents you, works for you full time, is going to walk away from the closing table with more money in their pocket than someone who is not represented well. I had a closing this morning, and I also had a listing appointment that I scheduled just before the closing. And it was with a wonderful couple that very, very aggressive, very successful. They've done a lot. And when I left, he said, I want somebody that's a mover and a shaker, and you're a mover and a shaker. He didn't sign my listing yet, but we're keeping in contact, and they're discussing it. And I hope this is going to be a new listing for me on Monday. So, when they say, well, less commission, I say, well, you get what you buy. You get what you bargain for. If you go with a aggressive, organized agent that is looking out for your best interest, that does this full time, works for you, you're going to have more money in the end. So people are, it's a true statement.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Rachel, one of the agents had asked, where does your business, is most of your business for sale by owners? Is it expired? Didn't sound like it was past client and sphere yet.
I'm starting to get some past clients. My 7 sales have been people that I've sold their house. I originated with cold calls. Those were for sell by owners. I've had really good luck with those. And I get on and I have personal conversations with the people. I try to say something nice to them that's genuine. Bring them into the conversation a little bit, share a little bit about me, maybe be a little funny. People like to laugh. Nobody laughs like we should anymore. So if you could make a lighthearted little joke or something, and that person works well with you on a cold call, then you could say, well, why do you want to sell? What's coming up? And you find out about them, and then you can hone in on that. And that helps with that cold call, and helps you get that listing appointment. And then I don't waste any time, and my office manager knows sometimes I try to go really too fast. He says, slow down, Rachel. Chase Simpson, he's phenomenal. He's keeping me in check. But I do, I do everything with urgency. If there's an appointment coming up, if there's don't put it off. When I'm walking out of my listing, if someone has signed a listing for me, I'm on the phone to the guy that takes pictures. The sign that's in my trunk is going in their yard. I waste no time. There's not time to waste. You do not waste time because you don't want to lose opportunity. So when I see opportunity, I move forward. I go quickly as I can to the next steps. I don't put off anything. There's been a few times I've had it was my second set of closings. I had 3 closings in a day just a couple weeks ago. What a wonderful day. I mean, it was a fun day. But I got up at 2:30 that day, and I was emailing my office manager, and I had questions, and I was putting things together, and I was actually doing other prospecting and stuff in that day, but to, get up at 2:30, but I've always worked hard. I'm a hard worker. My grandfather came here from Germany, and my family put pride and honor if you were a hard worker, whether you were a hard worker in the garden, bringing food in for your family. My grandparents lived through the Depression. My father was older. He lived through Depression. We put a lot of honor in my family and hard work. So work hard.
Good job. Rachel, some of what you've been saying has brought up a couple of questions from the
Okay.
agent, and in my mind, from this perspective, who does the paperwork?
Well, I
A
do
lot
the
of
paper.
contracts be flying around
Yeah.
here.
Oh, yeah. And we hope they're always really good shape. I have an office manager that checks everything. He is on it, and I know he's busy doing his own work, but he has backed me up. Everybody in this office, I think that I've been doing this a very short amount of time. I'm incredibly blessed with people that I work with. The combination of Tom Myers, Chase Simpson, Kara McGill, people in my office, Michelle McKnight, Mary Carmen de la Vega, Tracy Brown, Rick Bellman, Lacey Nacky, Jim Linville, Rochelle McDaniels, Sandra Wonke, Tracy Bailey. These people have welcomed me into this office. If I've had questions, they've all stopped and answered my questions. Chase holds my hand, and I appreciate it. Karen has my back. Tom believes in me. The combination of this office is what's helped me.
No,
So,
I clearly that's clear, and I hear it. You don't have an assistant or a transaction coordinator or anything that handles that kind of stuff?
I do not right now. No, I'm just I'm just
Can I make
working. So,
can I make a mastermind suggestion right away?
sure.
Get an
Yeah.
assistant. Get a great
Okay.
assistant. Okay.
Okay.
I can't
Okay.
imagine what you could do with an assistant.
Okay.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. Okay. That's really fantastic. Numbers for sale by owner stuff. Where do you get it? So a couple things. You have to show up at the closings, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. See, in California, we don't have to show up at the closings.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So when do you plan on moving states? You only have 5 kids. Well, we can put them in an airplane.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But so you show up at every closing,
Yes.
okay, physically.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, because a lot of the country doesn't do that.
Okay.
Certainly,
I did not know that.
they don't do that in California at all, or
Wow.
certainly we don't do that in Northern California, do we? No. So California doesn't do that at all. So you can imagine, the closing's done at the escrow company, and then they
Okay.
send you the checks. They put everything together and disperse it. So we don't have that issue. But you're writing the listings, you're writing the contracts, you're negotiating the counter offers, you're going on the listing appointment, and you're still finding time every day to prospect.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's amazing. That's what I'm getting all these questions of who does the paperwork? Who does the paperwork? Who's it
Yeah. Yeah.
for you?
Well, it's fun. I mean, right now it's still fun for me. It's exciting being part of the negotiating back and forth. I have a lot of athletes in my family. My brother was a decathlete at Purdue and won the Drake finals in track. My son was a phenomenal football player. A lot of athletes. My daughter is a track long jumper at University of Indianapolis. So we have kind of that athletic mentality too. But it's energy to me. I like it. I like what I'm doing. So I think that helps.
That's
Yeah.
great. That clearly does that. Absolutely. Other questions for Rachel as we get close to wrapping this up for her?
Neil, I have a question.
Go ahead, Iris.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Rachel. You've been very inspiring. My question is, you are in the business for only yourself for only 2.5 months, and how did you get the confidence of, like, even maybe not really preview you might not have previewed a lot. How did you get the confidence of talking to the people and also handling the objection?
Rachel got stuck. Maybe she dropped off. Tough question, Iris. Thanks.
Maybe my questions.
So Tom, check with Chase, maybe, yeah, you're on it. Okay. Oh, man.
She did address that question though. She said that she's hard worker, her family, when she goes for it, she does it. There's no option.
I think she has a lot of confidence from the very beginning, Iris. This is my sense.
There it
That-
is.
So Neil,
Okay.
Yeah.
There
There
we
she
go.
is.
Wow.
We found her.
Should I ask my question again?
Please.
Yeah, if you could ask your question again, that would be great. How do we turn up the volume?
Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Rachel, for being with us, sharing your experience. It's been very inspiring. My question was, you are only in the business for 2.5 months. How did you, so you might not even have previewed a lot of properties. How did you get the confidence of facing to the people and handling the objections, and eventually got the listing?
Yes. Well, I was a school teacher for 30 years, so I'm used to being around people. And there, to me, I felt like I didn't have an option. You know, you have to believe in yourself and just do it. What do you have to lose? You know, you have to lose. If you don't try, you have nothing. But if you try and and something doesn't work out in your favor, then know that wasn't meant to be that situation, but go on to the next one. There's lots of houses out there. There's lots of people wanting to buy, lots of people wanting to sell. The right people will come your way if you are searching for them, and then you make the choice to just go for it. I mean, that's what I do every day. I wake up and I'm going to go for it, you know, because that's me. I'm going to go for it and just do it. Go for it, you know?
May I ask, are you a driver?
No, she's not a driver.
She's
She's-
not amiable.
No, she's an
No.
expressive.
Oh, expressive.
How do I know? She's an expressive, 100%.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, Rachel.
You're welcome. Good
Yes.
job. Good questions, Iris. All right. So other questions go ahead, Sylvia.
I have a question, Iris. I have a question, Rachel.
Yes.
Congratulations. I have been selling for 34 years and it's amazing what you're doing. I started my business with door knocking. What percentage of your business is door knocking and cold calling? And what scripts are you using when you're doing this? Or do you have scripts yet?
No, I've been using the for sale by owner scripts, and that was my first few listings, and I was cold calling, and I still cold call. I'm constantly though thinking about people in my life around me, at my church, at my school, at my kids' schools, people I just meet. And then once I get that connection, I try to connect with their people. I say, who do you know that might? I was at my closing today, and the guy was like, you saw my house. And this was just it was a cold call. And I went there and, you know, we talked and he liked the presentation. He signed, we closed his house. I looked at me, I said, will you use me again? You want to buy a house now? And he said, we're going to travel a little. We're going to buy a house. And he said, you sold my house in 3 days. I'm using you. And so just have, I just try to connect with as many people as I can. So
What percentage is door knocking of your business, and what percentage is calling? What
all
percentage
of my business has been calling.
cold calling?
So, yeah, except for minimal at people at my church.
And are you
so-
calling around your listings? Are you calling past, like, friends? Who are you calling? Just-
I have been calling for sell by owners that come up on Arc Agent is my favorite one. So I just get on there and I zoom out an area and I just call.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind. Yeah.
All right, other questions as we wind it down here? Anyone else, real quick?
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead, Eddie.
What's your specific schedule? Like, what time do you wake up? What time do you go to bed? Do you separate your personal with your business? How does that look like?
Well, I feel like I'm doing real estate nonstop from the minute I wake up to when I go to bed. I have my laptop is open all the time in front of me when I'm at home. I'm constantly checking emails, doing paperwork, making lists. I feel like I want to go to the next thing, the next challenge, the next document that needs signed or gathered, or the next call. I keep lists in the car. I have Post-it notes everywhere. I have a day-to-day list. My office manager has been very helpful in trying to keep me more organized. But if I'm not prospecting 2 to 3 hours, and if I can do it every day, I do it every day, because I'm a new agent. This business isn't just going to happen. I don't want to wait around for a year or 2 years to be doing this business. I want to do this business today. And when I go through the day, and I'm always thinking about real estate every minute. But I think if someone is new in this business, if they're not prospecting about 3 hours a day, they are going to just trickle off, and they're not going. You have to jumpstart your career if you're a new agent, and it's prospecting, calling, contacting for sell by owners, getting yourself as organized as you can. You've got to heavily prospect. And that's what I did. And we have a sign, we have a couple good signs here in our office. And one says, luck is the byproduct of heavy prospecting. And at first, when I got into this, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm just so lucky. I'm just the lucky one. But it's not. The first 2 weeks in this business, I know it's short. I've only here 2.5 months working really hard, but you have to work really hard. You have to get your feet off the ground. And if you're not prospecting being your number one thing as a new agent, and as it goes, I think it'll get easier, because I think people will remember me and come back. But I think you absolutely have to make prospecting your number one thing that you do as a real estate agent. And then the stuff is going to start coming around you. So, yeah.
And then when you say you prospect 2 to 3 hours, you have a specific time that you call, or is that every day different? Sometimes you call in the afternoon, sometimes you call in the mornings. Did you just get your 3 hours?
Yeah, I've done it different times. When I first started, I was calling 2 to 3 hours in the morning. Now I call in the evenings. I call starting around 5:30, and I will call, because it seems like people answer the phone sometimes more. I call on the weekends. When I start calling, I don't stop till I get a listing. I like 2 listing appointments. I don't just call 10 or 20. I call until I have an appointment.
It's great stuff. All right, everyone, let's unmute yourselves. Unmute yourselves, please. All right, let's give her a big hand. Woo! All right.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Wow,
Rachel.
fantastic. All right, that's fantastic. Love it. Rachel, we went a little bit long. I apologize for that.
The food,
Right now, what we're going to do as a group, we will kind of talk about, I asked the question, what did we learn? You're welcome to stay and listen to it. We understand if you have a hard stop. We'll send you the tape. It'll be a couple of 3 days till we get it back out to you. But I can't tell you how appreciative I am of you and what you've done and what you've accomplished. The management team at Carpenter has done a tremendous job. And Tom Meyer, who I call friend for probably 10 or 12 years, thank you for sending this over to me and exposing us to this, Tom. We really do appreciate it. Okay, so thank you again, Rachel. What did we learn today, everyone? What did we learn? Who wants to go first? Who can go first? Go ahead, Josie.
I surprised people don't just pop up to you answering this. So she talked about her internal drive. It's obvious that she has that. And she said, do it with urgency. You know, her goal, she's got a lot on her plate, 5 kids, 1 child that has, special needs. Do it with urgency. She had cancer, we all don't think about death, but she's got to provide for those kids. So it was very, very inspirational. Thank you.
Yeah, very good. Excellent. By the way, Rachel's information is in the chat box. If you guys want to reach out to her, you want to send her a referral, she probably won't be upset about that. It's good stuff. What else did we learn today? Reach out.
What city and state is she from?
She's in Indiana. And is it Indianapolis, Rachel?
Yes, Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
Mhm.
Home of the Indianapolis 500.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Rachel, thank you for that memory jogger. I can't tell you how important it is. We all put the number of contacts we want to make, and then we also add the number of hours we're going to prospect. But you just helped me immensely by saying, I don't stop prospecting until I get an appointment.
Yeah.
That's huge. So thank you for that.
Good job. Thanks, Fred. Excellent. What else did we learn here? Miguel, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think it's absolutely incredible. Okay, bottom line is this. We all have too many gaps in our schedule and excuses that we use not to pick up the phone. Sorry.
So basically, Miguel, you're
Nothing
breaking up.
about it, but
What you said was pick up the phone. Good job. All
yeah,
right.
too many gaps in our schedule.
All right. Absolutely. All right. Others what did you learn today? Come on. Go ahead, Iris.
Thank you, Neil. I want to reiterate the answer from Rachel to my question. It was no options. Believe in yourself. A lot of people, a lot of opportunity, and search for them. Go for the business.
That's right. No options. No options. It's burn the boats.
I want to say something.
Go ahead, Christina.
I want to congratulate Rachel because it's very hard as a mother, especially with 5 kids, to be like spending a lot of time at the office. And she's just doing for her kids what she needs to do. And it's very inspirational. So congratulations for you.
Good job, Christina. Thank you. Okay, what else did we learn today? Armin, are you cleaning your glasses or raising your hand?
Both.
All right, good job. What else did we learn?
What I like it was when she was writing things down, because sometimes I know she mentioned something about not having a good day, but little things like that. I need to like shower today. I'm gonna shower. I'm gonna eat. All that stuff. It was sometimes when you see it and you imagine it, sometimes it's just easier to do rather than just thinking about it.
No, that's a great point, Eddie. That was a really, really good idea. One of the better ideas I took out of that today, and there was a lot of great ideas. Her energy and belief in herself is paramount, and urgency is the way this thing is going to happen. Go ahead, Monica.
None.
Oh, other comments? What did you learn?
Neil, may I?
Please.
One thing that I learned, and first of all, Rachel, you're such an inspiration. Thank you very much. I was feeling embarrassing while listening to you because I've been in the business for a while. So what I learned is that the mindset first, that's what she has, the mindset. And from there, she has her drive and she has this and she has that. And she prospects and she follow-ups and but the mindset, I was looking at the way you were talking the whole time, Rachel, and it's such an enthusiastic conversation that you were having. And I believe everything has to do with the mindset. So first, fix my mindset and then just commit, discipline, and everything else. Thank you very much.
Well said. I don't think we can say anything better than that. We appreciate it. Unmute yourselves one more time, please. And let's give her a big hand. Woo! All right. All right, everybody. Rachel, again, thank you. We'll get this out to you.
Thank you.
And Rachel, we will keep watching.
Okay, I hope so.
All right.
I hope so.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you. It's a
again.
pleasure.
I don't know if you're still there, but thank you for that tape you sent me that day. I really appreciate it. And I know my staff, my company, and the whole mastermind show really will appreciate this. Okay, let's rock and roll. We go right to prospecting now.